here. Beautiful, sunny, and windy November in Fulshear, Texas, west of Houston. Along this embankment, many trees were buried by grade change, especially higher up. This water oak, this mound here represents the remnants of the stump of a water oak that died. All of this was higher than grade. There was an attempt to maintain the grade on a few of these trees, as you can see here. This one was at its natural grade. This one was buried no more than about 5 inches. See that? Some of these are buried a lot. They're going to need to put a trench down there. This was always a wet spot, so there's not standing water here just because we excavated the root collar. There's standing water here already, with or without the root collar excavated. Right here. Here's one I want to point out. This thing was buried all the way up to here, and we went down and found its root flare. We were pleased to see that it's not more. Ideally, at the time of construction, they would have come all the way out to here somewhere and installed a half-moon retaining wall. And that still is an option. I would recommend that. Let's stand back a little bit. I would still recommend a half-moon retaining wall. Now, it rained, 3 inches in 4 hours a few nights ago, and the mulch is still intact, which surprises the heck out of me. But I would advise putting loosely placing a couple of flat, flagstone chips, broken edges, in a puzzle piece fashion there, to minimize the amount of runoff there. So these little rings were put in to protect the bases from lawnmower and weed eater damage. So not all root collars were excavated, but all of the trees had this done to it. Okay. The other thing that I want to show you guys is this very badly buried tree. This is a post oak, and as we know, post oaks are very sensitive species. But there was no grade change here. There was no construction activity at all on this side of the washout. We excavated on this side all the way down to the flare, and I'm distressed to see that this post oak has a lot of decay. We can't blame this on construction. This is a spot where whatever native grasses didn't adequately stop erosion, and so it's piled up here. Again, let me get low on it and show you this tree from this angle. So there's this high spot on the uphill side of the tree, and then it slopes pretty sharply down to the riverbed. This was not altered, and yet we still had to excavate it. Well, wait a minute. At least the folks insist there was no construction activity here, but the age of this wound is consistent with whenever construction occurred. Makes me wonder whether there was some grade work here anyway. I also want to point your attention to this ferning structure that's on this, or is that a root knot? Biggest concern here is this severely decayed wood. And just for point of reference, at the moment, this is a relatively healthy post oak. Starting to defoliate a little bit early, but it is November, early November. And so, I wouldn't judge it too harshly. But it is, at this point, still a healthy tree. Love to hear your comments. excavating buried root collars. Thank you.